Hey everybody, it's John DePietro, and I just wanted to welcome you to another edition of Top Entrepreneur, the only show anywhere that goes beyond the business page headlines and into the hearts, minds, and souls of those that are making a difference in the business world today. I'm in my car, and I'm heading to see Jacki Rose, an author, a speaker, a presentation coach, and most importantly, an entrepreneur. And you might say, why are you in your car doing this intro? Well, the fact is, our business world is moving faster than ever before, and our entrepreneurs need all the latest info. So here we go, Jacki Rose. And we're back at Top Entrepreneur version 2.0. Our special guest is Miss Jacki Rose. Jacki, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, you're an author, you're a speaker, you're a presentation coach, but most importantly, you're an entrepreneur. Tell us a little bit about your background and how we've gotten to this point. As the wind picks up, but don't worry, because entrepreneurs have to deal with this stuff all the time, don't they?
Right. So my background, well, basically, I worked for someone in many different industries and different positions. And so I went from working in the hotel industry, booking functions like a sales manager, from working at continuing education, booking children's after-school programs,
okay,
and from all different types of things like that. But all along, I always had a little side business, whether it was a temp service, like just on my own, or a singles service or social clubs. So I had an entrepreneurial spirit. And then I decided to quit my job to bike across the country.
Bike across the country.
Let
Let me stop you for 1 second, because you notice as soon as we started taping, all the vehicles went by.
Yeah.
And originally our plan was to tape inside, but we found out there was too much extraneous noise, so we've moved outside here. But you know what? That's all part of being an entrepreneur, isn't it?
I love that part of being an entrepreneur, because you don't have to sit in an office, you don't need permission to leave for an hour, you just go wherever you want to go. And we decided, let's just do this at Panera's in the parking lot. It was going to be inside, but why not? We had that flexibility, which is so great.
Of course, we didn't have a million cars entering and exiting at the same time, but you know what? You deal with it, right?
Exactly.
So now they're all gone.
Yes.
And the train will probably go by in a minute, but nevertheless. So you were going to pedal your way across the United States.
Because I wanted to find my passion. I didn't know what I wanted to do next. I had been successful in a few different careers, and I enjoyed them, but I wanted to find my passion. So I thought, and I loved to bike. That was a passion of mine. So I thought I just wanted to bike for the summer. So I went with a group. We biked across the country from San Francisco to New Hampshire, and I thought maybe I'll have an epiphany of what my next career will be, or
so you didn't jump on an Amtrak train in Chicago or anything like that. I mean, you pedaled yourself the whole way.
Yeah, I always tell people I biked across the country in 1997, and my butt still hurts.
Yep. And we should say we're taping this in 2010.
That's exactly,
okay.
Exactly, right.
So what were the thoughts going through your mind when you're on that bike and you're out in the plains and the wind is coming straight in your face and you're saying...
I only had one.
You probably said, why am I doing this? Did you ever say that?
Well... No, what I did say was, why do I like this so much?
Oh, why do I like it? Okay.
Yeah, sometimes, especially if it was pouring rain and I'm covered with mud and I can't see, and I'm like, why do I like this? And that was crazy.
So give me the contrast between actually probably not contrast, but the compelling differences as well as similarities between biking across the country and being in business for yourself.
Well, it's funny because I always say biking across the country is a lot like public speaking, because that's what I teach. And the analogy I use is that on my bike trip, I could just hop on my bike and start biking across the country. I had to do some preparation.
Yep.
Yeah, and there was a lot of
practice, right?
A lot of practice. Exercise, learning, getting the proper gear.
Yep.
So all that goes.
Making sure your equipment was good, and so many times people hit the stage with no preparation, and I'm sure that you'd agree with me that it does show when they do that, right?
Absolutely. And not just the preparation, but I also had some concerns before the trip. I was scared. I wasn't sure if I could make it. Would I be able to keep up with everyone? And same with public speaking. A lot of people are afraid that they're not going to get the message across, or everyone's going to look at them, with disrespect, or they make a fool out of themselves. And I think that's very similar with entrepreneurial. I mean, it can be very scary, and I think I was scared when I first started my business, but I was also excited. So just with the cross-country trip.
Okay. Two things. You've said two words, the two buzzwords. You were talking about my passion before was biking, and you just said excited. How important are those two skills, those two traits, I should say, in being an entrepreneur? Passion and excitement.
Yeah, I think you have to have it. You have to. Because there are a lot of people who try to start their own businesses, but if they're not passionate about what they do, they're not going to succeed. They're not going to get out of bed in the morning. They're not going to get out of their house. They have to be self-motivated. And I think when you really enjoy what you do and you love it, for me anyways, and maybe not for everybody, but for me, I'm self-motivated. I don't have the problem where, I need other people around me to...
Okay. Some people need that community, but really entrepreneurs, they need the community, but they need that freedom. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I need my freedom.
Freedom,
I need
okay.
my freedom.
Now, people think, oh, you own your own business, you can take off whenever you want and only work whenever you want. Has that fallacy been proven by you?
No.
No, okay.
And I'll tell you why. I mean, yes and no is what I want to say, because I feel so fortunate that I can take a vacation whenever I want. I don't have to get permission. And what I would do is I can schedule around that. When I say the times I can't always, is let's say I'm invited to go down to Florida to visit my parents, but if I have speaking engagements booked that week, I can't go.
Mm-hmm. However, if you know you're going to be going to Florida at a certain time, preferably in the cold winter months, right?
Exactly.
Okay. You could book a gig down there.
Yeah, so for anybody watching who lives in Florida, has a business, I am looking for speaking engagements in
January, February, and March.
Exactly. That has been my goal.
Okay. So have you looked back and said, what the heck did I do?
What the heck did I do?
Why am I in this for myself? I should really have a job so I have security and an office and a phone.
Many times.
Okay.
And then I get sick to my stomach.
After you think that
Yeah.
would be the case.
Yeah, I mean because there are some people who will be reversed. They'll get sick to the stomach if they want to be an entrepreneur. And if you're feeling that way, then that means you should not be an entrepreneur. You should be working for someone else. And there are times I have looked online, or I have tried to find a job, especially when the economy crashed last year. My business died. But
you hung with it, though, didn't you?
I hung with it, and I'm so happy I did, because I love what I do, and it excites me, and things are going quite well now.
So what would you say to people that are thinking of starting their own business but haven't gotten over that hump? You know, that like a speed bump in life.
Keep your day job. Well, it's funny, because a lot of times I always say if I had done it over again, I don't know. Part of me says, okay, maybe I should have had a full-time job as I built up my business. But then again, I wouldn't have put all my energy towards my business.
Thinking you could always lean back on the other job.
Right. And there are some people who have a part-time job, which is really good to do. Okay, what was the question again?
Well, have you ever looked back and said, why did I do this? Am I crazy? But let me go on to another thing, because you answered that quite well. Let me ask you another question right now. As far as a situation where people are thinking about the economy, et cetera, that's got to waver in a lot of what they think, right?
Yes, it's quite scary. I mean, a year ago, there was not the time to start a business unless you're going to do all the footwork and you're not looking for clients. But there are some exceptions. Maybe you already have a client, and that would be the best thing. If you were to start your own business, who do you already know who could be your first client?
First client.
And
so
maybe
important to get that first client.
Yeah, maybe it's your last full-time job. Maybe it's your last employer.
Okay. Tell us what you do right now, because a lot of people say presentation coach. What does that mean, Jackie?
Well, what I do is I teach business professionals how to present effectively. So most of my clients are people who have to present to their clients or prospective new clients, and they have to make presentations on their business.
Such as salespeople as well as CEOs, right?
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. And some of them have to present at conferences. I also do either one-on-one coaching for people who have big presentations coming up. I do training seminars at companies, and I also do speaking engagements.
Now, how can people reach you?
Publicspeakingcanbefun.com.
Publicspeakingcanbefun.com, and you're located in the Boston area.
Yes, but I travel. I've traveled as far as Asia, and I'll go further.
And without a bicycle.
Without a bicycle.
Without a bicycle.
Yes.
Jackie Rose, thank you so much for being with us on the new version 2.0 of Top Entrepreneur. You've been a great guest.
Thank you very much.